What's up, everybody? I'm Tam, and I'm an ENFJ, and every now and then I like to do an ENFJ live where I talk about a personal experience or a personal topic that I can't always just talk about with MYERS-BRIGGS, blah, 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 but it's from an ENFJ, and so this is where my mind is today. It's like I keep talking to people who tell me things that people say that are offensive or that are rude, and I've also personally experienced this rudeness as well at different points in my life. And I'm just wondering if anybody else has been offended by people doing or saying rude things. And I'm not talking about the kind of people who are purposefully rude, because some people are doing those things to get a rise out of somebody or to upset someone or to hurt feelings. I'm not even talking about that level. I'm talking about just the courtesy and saying things that you shouldn't say. So I'm going to mention a few, and if you can think of any more, let us know in the comments what those are. But I'm talking about, like, for example, age. I think you should never ask anybody how old they are unless they're 12 or 8. Past a certain point, you shouldn't be asking anyone their age. They can tell you. I remember having someone announce my age to some other people, and I'm like, why are you telling those people how old I am? If you'd like to tell them how old you are, go for it. But why would you tell other people my age? What if I don't want them to know that? Another thing in regards to age that can be rude is like somebody said that somebody asked them, "Oh, are you retired?" And they were like, "I'm far from being retired." Why in the world would somebody think that? I mean, nothing wrong with being retirement age, but if you're not that age and somebody asks you, "Hey, are you retired?" Why would you ask somebody that? I think even if somebody is 100 years old on a cane and they're completely gray and they're hunched over, and not that all 100-year-olds would be, but still, let them tell you their age. Nobody wants to be called a senior citizen. I remember somebody who was probably twice my age. They were in a store and people started calling them grandma or something like that. And she was like, "Why are they calling me grandma? Like, that's not, don't call me that." So it's just certain things I think we need to be more aware of. I remember having a friend who was in her 20s and she was with her 2-year-old niece, and someone said, "Oh, is that your granddaughter?" And she was like 27. So, like, are you kidding me? I can remember with my sister, I think somebody asked me if I was her grandmother once, and somebody asked her if she was my grandmother once. And this has happened over like different spans of time where it's just like, are you are you serious? Like, we're the same age. Like, this is so weird. I mean, people just say anything. What about "are you pregnant" question? Like, so many women have been asked, are they pregnant? And they're like, no. So I think that's also an area that you have to be really, really careful about. I remember I had a neighbor that was like, "Well, you and I are in our 40s." And I was like, "I'm in my 30s. So, like, you're assuming," like, you just have to be so careful when it comes to age. Another thing is a weight issue. You have to be careful with saying anything about somebody's weight, like whether it's, "Are you pregnant?" or saying things like, I mean, I've known people who have had people say, "You've lost so much weight," or they tell them, "If you lose 1 more pound," and what is going on? You don't know if somebody has an illness that they're going through that they just don't want to talk to you about. So why would you have to be careful with the weight thing. Even if you think you're giving somebody a compliment by telling them, "Oh my gosh, you're losing so much weight." Like, A lot of people will take that as a compliment, but a lot of people won't take that as a compliment. And you certainly don't want to tell somebody, you're gaining so much weight. I mean, people will say anything that's like out of line. Someone was telling me how somebody walked up to them at work and they said, you need to get your hair done. What? What do you mean? Who says that? And I said, well, is the person your friend? Absolutely not. We're not friends. We're just colleagues. And I like my hair the way it is. So we all need to be a little bit more respectful, and just certain things you just don't say to people. You can't make assumptions these days about anything. I've known people, they're with their parent and somebody will say, is that your husband? Is that your wife? No. I had a friend, she had somebody to say, oh, is that your dad? No, this is my husband. So, and I'm not saying that I've never been guilty of saying the wrong thing, because I have, but I do try to be extremely careful. Jennifer Aniston recently said, can people stop telling me that I look good for my age? Oh, you look so good for your age. That is not a compliment. I mean, but people say that all the time. And actually, oops, I kind of said that the other day, to be honest, because somebody told me that they had been doing something for 30 years. And I was like, you don't look old enough to have done that for 30 years. So maybe that's bad too. I don't know. You might even say, well, I just won't say anything to anybody then, since everything is offensive. And it kind of is getting that way to a certain degree. There's microaggressions and cultural biases and stuff like that. I mean, that is a given. There's gender biases. So you have to be careful with all of that, with saying things to people regarding their ethnicity and race. And yet, that's kind of one of those areas that we need to talk more openly about and have more conversations, instead of pretending like, I don't notice that you're Asian, or that you're black, or that you're white. We know those things. So I think if you have built rapport with someone and you're close enough, you might just say, hey, can we talk about race? I had an office mate once. She was white, I'm black. And we would have conversations about our culture and ethnicity and differences and stuff like that. But we had that understanding that we could talk about those kind of things, and it was great. So I think we all should be able to talk about a variety of different things, but women are often offended by things that men say to them. And I think that that has impacted the dating world, which is really not so good, because like, hey, I used to like when a guy whistled at me, but if you whistle at some women, oh my gosh, they're going to have a fit. They're going to have a cow. Like, who do you think you are? Some people don't want the door held for them. I'm like, hold the door for me. You can lift a heavy box for me. I love that kind of stuff, and I've always loved that. But some women are like, that's offensive. You think I can't carry my own thing. So I don't want to say that we should go to the extreme. I think like, why can't a man flirt with you? Like, but that offends people. So it's like they can't. I think because some people have taken it too far, but if you're not taking it too far, what's wrong with flirting? So sometimes we can be so guarded and so sensitive that we can't just be. And I think there are times when there are things that we do have to let go and not be so uptight, and we have to be forgiving and understanding. And hey, you know what? They didn't mean anything by that. So I'm not saying that we should be that uptight, but I do think there are certain rules in life, or things that you just don't do. You can't do that. I remember seeing somebody talk like they were trying to speak in someone else's culture. I'm talking about somebody who spoke two different languages, and so they're imitating the people, and they think that's funny. Why would you think that was funny? Like, huh? What about this one? Is it okay to say, I have 2 beautiful children? I think that is acceptable. It's okay to say, I have 4 beautiful children. That's a common phrase. But is it okay for someone to say, my son is so handsome? He is such a good looking kid. I saw somebody do that on TV, and the hosts around them looked mortified because that is not really accepted. I think it's acceptable for someone else to tell you that your child is, oh, your kid is so cute. Oh, they're so adorable. Or your kid looks so pretty. I think that's acceptable. Generally speaking, you kind of allow the other people to tell you that your kids are good looking. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't tell your own kid in the privacy of your home, you're so cute, or you're so pretty, or you look so handsome. But when you make a big announcement to everybody, that's kind of not acceptable, I don't think. But do you guys think that? It's just confusing. It's so confusing these days. Cancel culture, or what to say, what not to say. But I would just say be a little sensitive when it comes to weight, age, how people look. And as an ENFJ, I'm super opinionated about some things. I'm going to be honest with you in my head, but I don't say it out loud. Like I try to keep it to myself. So anyway, has anybody said anything to you that has been just super offensive? I hope you guys have enjoyed me cooking for you today. Haha. And definitely check out both my books, The Workplace Narcissist, which is about people who are mean on purpose. It's on Amazon, and I'll put the link in the description box. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what videos you want me to do, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, my lovely friends.